The greatest moment at Mile High Stadium took place on April 9, 1993. In 1948, a new ballpark opened for the Class A Western League team, the Denver Bears, which was named Bears Stadium. The park would eventually be renamed as Mile High Stadium, and throughout the 1950s, the Bears would be one of minor league baseball's most successful franchises, producing many players who would reach the majors and play in the World Series. And with the success the team was having, owner Bob Howsam was encouraged to attempt bringing Major League Baseball to the Mile High City. In 1959, he helped create the idea of the Continental League, which was to become the third league in Major League Baseball, which would include a team in Denver. The Continental League would never be formed, and throughout the 60s, the Bears would remain in the Mile High City but have little success. They would, however, produce some good teams in the 70s and 80s, which would produce many more players who would have successful Major League careers. Mile High Stadium would also become the home of the Denver Broncos, who would become one of the National Football League's elite franchises in the 70s and 80s, making 9 postseason appearances and appearing in 3 Super Bowls. But after all the success that Mile High Stadium had, the city of Denver still didn't have a Major League franchise, but by the early 90s that would all change, as the Colorado Baseball Commission was successful in getting Denver voters to approve a 0.1% sales tax, which would help finance a new baseball stadium. Then on July 5, 1991, the National League approved Denver and Miami as sites for 2 expansion teams, which would begin play in 1993, and the city of Denver was finally awarded a Major League franchise. The Colorado Rockies would play their first game on April 5, 1993, opening the season against the New York Mets in Shea Stadium, which they would lose 3-0. They would lose their next game as well, but 3 days later, they would play their home opener against the Montreal Expos. A record crowd of 80,227 would flock to the ballpark for this historic event, and after years of being a minor league town, the city of Denver was ready for Major League Baseball. Starting for the Rockies was Brian Smith, who had previously had some productive seasons for the Expos, and he would not disappoint. He would retire the first 2 hitters of the game, and after giving up a couple of singles, would retire John Vanderwall on a groundout to get out of the jam. Then, in the bottom half, one of the most memorable moments in team history would occur when second baseman Eric Young Sr. would lead off in what was the Rockies' first ever home at bat. Young would launch a fly ball over the left center field fence for a home run to give Colorado a 1-0 lead and send the crowd into a frenzy. But as exciting as the home run was, things were just warming up. Alex Cole would come to the plate next and get on board with a walk. With Dante Bichette at the plate, Cole would steal second and third, and Bichette would line a single to left to score Cole to make the score 2-0. After Andres Galarraga flied out, Charlie Hayes would homer to left to give Colorado a 4-0 lead. The Expos would get out of the inning without allowing another run. Then, after Smith got out of another jam in the top of the second, the Rockies would score again in the bottom half. Eric Young would come to the plate with 1 out and walk, and Alex Cole would ground a single to right. EY would head to third, and right fielder Moisés Alou would fire the ball toward third base, but the throw was wild, and Young would score to give Colorado a 5-0 lead. The Rockies never looked back, and with the help of 7 shutout innings by Smith, they would defeat the Expos by a score of 11-4. But as exciting as the first home game was, there was much more to come. The Rockies' inaugural season would be a big success, as the team would win 67 games, at the time a record for a National League expansion team, and they would also set a Major League record for attendance in a single season with 4,483,350. The Rockies would also have one of the best offensive seasons for an expansion team, led by Andres Galarraga, who would lead the league with a .370 average. After one more year at Mile High Stadium, the Rockies would move to Coors Field in 1995, where they would produce many great offensive teams, host an All-Star game, and win 3 National League wildcard titles, along with the National League pennant.